Today, the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientist moves the hands of the doomsday clock. It is 100 seconds to midnight.
Really bad news indeed. What we have called the new abnormal last year, a dismal state of affairs in the realms of nuclear security and climate change, now has become an apparently enduring, disturbing reality in which things are not getting better.
I must say, as I listened to the excellent but devastating presentation of the scientists, I felt more and more a strong personal reaction, the reaction of an angry granny. This is not acceptable. Let this year be the start of a new era of nuclear negotiations. Let's hope to return here in a year's time to reveal the hands on this clock are further from midnight than they are today. Thank you.
By both the media and a curious general public, have emerged to exploit the media fascination with the Roswell incident. The report concluded that the predecessor to the U.S. Air Force in 1947, the oddly constructed radar targets were found by a local rancher who later reported the equipment as a flying in the late 1960s and early 1970s.
And yet I ask you, is not an alien force already among us?
There's going to be a press conference taking place in Geneva, Switzerland, at CERN, the particle collider in Geneva, where scientists are going to update the world on the search for the long-sought Higgs particle. This follows a previous announcement that you may recall back in December, where the scientists gave preliminary evidence that this elusive Higgs particle had been found. And around the world right now, there are physicists who are eagerly anticipating that on Wednesday, that earlier preliminary result will turn into a definitive result, and we will have found the so-called God particle.
Well, this is what it looks like. This is real. This is yesterday and today is the very first public unveiling in a public presentation of Project Looking Glass. A human being is about this tall. This is built in underground bases. It is colossal in size. And what happens is when you fire this thing up, these rings start going in all different directions. It shields off the barrel of water inside, which is just like your pineal gland. The water inside flips over into time-space, which then captures argon gas, captures visual images, and this is what it looks like. It becomes huge, glowing, all the way out to these posts, which are used as stabilizers for the energy field. Now, it doesn't start out with an image of the Earth. That's just there as a placeholder, although you could see the whole Earth like that if you wanted to. That's not usually what happens. They got computer animations of how it's going to work with the different rings moving. This actually looks like the fisheye lens distortion effect that happens around the looking glass when you power it on. There's a gantry crane up at the top, and the little guy is dropped down and goes inside. That's like your barrel inside the mechanism there. And this is where all the action happens. This is where the Stargate opens, the wormhole into the higher realms. This is the chamber and the chair inside, which we'll see is very important. And here's your geometry. Look at that. Did anybody notice that when you were watching the movie? Because it goes by pretty fast. That's that same geometry that's in the background radiation of the whole universe with the sphere in the center. They fire it up, guess what happens? Big, bright luminosity, just like the real thing. The real thing that they're actually using and have been using since the 40s at least. And here's what it looked like from the control room. It gets brighter and brighter, and then she starts having the floor disappear. She gets dropped down inside, and then, of course, she goes through this wild wormhole ride, and there's an ascension experience at the end of the dream.
Mr. Moose, it's time to get your shots.
Oh, no, forget it, Captain. I'm not getting shots. No, sir. No one is going to give me a shot.
Fine, fine. I was just checking.
Huh?
I said, okay, if you don't want the shots, then you won't get shots.
Is that it? I mean, are you just going to let me go out and catch measles and mumps?
But you said that you...
Never mind what I said. Have you ever seen a moose with mumps?
What about measles?
That's worse.
So what are you trying to tell me?
I want my shots.
Now, that's what I wanted to hear.
How do you do that?
County, a bizarre traffic stop in Tell City has landed the driver of an ice cream truck behind bars. Police say Sherry Poole of New Albany was pulled over on Thursday for speeding on New State Road 237, but the stop quickly turned into something more serious. Officers say they had probable cause to search the truck, and that's when they found meth, drug paraphernalia, and other controlled substances inside the vehicle. Officials say Poole was also reportedly under the influence of drugs at the time. She was then arrested and taken to the Perry County Jail, where she's facing multiple charges, including drug possession and operating while intoxicated.
I come to show you why mannequin flavor plenty enjoyable. I need water. See, water make leaf stretch. Wrap cigar well. Mouth enjoy flavor. Yes? Mannequin flavor special. Sheer enjoyment.
In the summer of 1984, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children started what came to be known as the Milk Carton Campaign. They put pictures of missing children on the sides of milk cartons. It helped some kids to be found, but it scared many, many more kids who got up every morning and across the breakfast table stared at the faces of kids who had been taken from their parents. The center stopped the Milk Carton Campaign.
And again, I can't factually state anything. I can only tell you what they've talked about. But that's exactly what they're saying. They're discussing this as parallel realities in which everything is almost the same except for the position of 1 or 2 qubits that they're pulling through at a time. And the other thing that's super interesting about this is that this technology is on an exponential Kurzweilian singularity growth, where only 10 years ago they thought what was possible today wasn't going to be possible for 100 years. Well, that's a great question. First of all, I want to say that I don't know where they're pulling these qubits from. You know, they very much could not be accessing the quote-unquote multiverse. And again, I'm using their own terminology. But what I thought was extremely interesting about it is that they talked about it not only on a micro level, taking these qubits out, but that these universes exist on a macro level. So basically, they're trying to talk about organic life like you and me, that they're pulling this power out. So flip that from being somewhat frightening, just based on talking about it. Their AI has gotten so good that their predictions from 2013 and 2014 that these computers, these quantum computers, would outpace their engineers has now become public. Just a year ago. Machines, that's what they want. They literally say that the end goal of these things is to create human-like machines with artificial intelligence, and the only way that they are going to be able to do this is through quantum physics and the fact that the AI they create will create better AI. And again, this isn't me saying it. I will, hopefully give you some links in the description so you can see the gentlemen that used to work for DARPA that now are part of this project and espousing these things. And once again, like I said, just a week ago, Google announced that their AI is outpacing their engineers in creating AI. So now you have Eric Schmidt in there coming off an AI conference. You have Goldman Sachs at a higher level than ever that is heavily invested in this D-Wave technology. And then you have a guy like Peter Thiel, who is the technology advisor to the President of the United States and on the steering committee here at Bilderberg in attendance. I would be hard-pressed to believe that some of the things that I just discussed are being talked about on a level that I can't even comprehend. And to pull CERN in, which is almost like a macro project of these quantum computers, is just more evidence that they're definitely discussing these things. And I would assume, we are in 2017. AI is a real thing. The future of AI affects all of us. And the power elite are going to try to get a grasp on that so that you and I will have it on a controlled level, if at all. Well, yeah, no, people should be out here discussing these things, and I think that's why one of the things on the agenda is, can globalization be slowed down? Obviously, the people inside here are not trying to slow down globalization, but they want to know, to people like you, to people like the independent press, to people who are out here just protesting, do they pose enough of a threat that their ultimate goals can be slowed down? And once again, You know, Trump isn't the first populist to be voted into office. You have Corbyn. You have the people voting on Brexit. You do see a lot more people saying, you know what, let's localize things. Let's be concerned about our own people, and let's get away from this globalization. And obviously, that's at big odds with the majority of the people in here today.
We have shit for fucking poor people. Who buys our shit? I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer. You
They, who is this non-human race that all these ancient cultures and legends talk about, interbred with humanity to create this hybrid bloodline and indeed change the genetics of the human form? The key ones seem to take a reptilian form. And of course, we decode a tiny frequency range within infinity, and we think that we know it all. And because it's different to what we are used to, then it can't exist. It must be crazy. It's an interesting fact that if you want to control people's perception of what's possible, then you just limit the information they receive about what is possible. It's real simple.
Let me ask you a question. Has anything ever happened to you that you couldn't explain? That made you feel sort of foolish when you tried to tell somebody about it? Well, if it has, you have plenty of company, as you'll soon see.
New world order. A new world order.
A new world order.
New world order.
And a new world order.
A new world order.
A new world order.
A new world order. A new world order.
A new world order.
A new world order. A new world order. World order.
A new world order.
As I've told you before, because I love it so much, Novus Order Seclorum, a new order for the centuries, for the ages, forever.
The international order.
Global governance. Global governance.
Global governance. Global society.
Global influence.
And people talked then, in 1990, of a new world order.
Very alert. When danger threatened him, he never got hurt. He knew just what to do. He ducked and covered, ducked and covered.
He did what we all must learn to do. You
and you
and you
and you, duck and cover.
Be sure and remember what Bert the Turtle just did, friends, because every one of us must remember to do the same thing. That's what this film is all about. Duck and cover. This is an official civil defense film produced in cooperation with the Federal Civil Defense Administration and in consultation with the Safety Commission of the National Education Association. Produced by Archer Productions, Incorporated. Hey, Bert, come on out and meet all these nice people, please. Oh, all right. We really can't blame you. You see, Bert is a very, very careful fellow. When there's danger, this is the way he keeps from being hurt. Sometimes it even saves his life. That's why these children are practicing to duck and cover just as you do in your school. We all know the atomic bomb is very dangerous. Since it may be used against us, we must get ready for it, just as we are ready for many other dangers that are around us all the time.